The sun bled across the desert horizon, setting fire to the sky as dust swirled through the old wooden town of Red Dam. In that dry silence, laughter was rare, and dangerous. Especially for a girl like Clara. She was a servant, bought and broken, living on the edge of her master's cruelty. Her hands were always red from scrubbing floors, her eyes always lowered. But on that cursed evening, something changed. Her master, Mr. Greaves, a man known for his temper and greed, hosted a gathering of traders. The air stank of whiskey and sweat. Clara served them, quiet as a ghost, until one of the men told a clumsy joke that made her stifle a giggle. Just a small laugh, innocent, like the sound of a bird escaping its cage. But the men turned. The master's face froze. Then came the sound of his chair scraping against the floor. "You think you can laugh at me, girl," he hissed. The room fell silent. Clara tried to explain, but her words tripped over fear. The next morning, a rope was tied around her wrists. A paper tag was hung from her neck, "For sale." Her crime? Laughter. At the slave market, the sun burned her skin as buyers passed by. No one looked twice at the skinny girl with haunted eyes, until he appeared. A tall man on horseback, dressed in worn leather and dust, a cowboy with eyes that held the weight of too many battles. His name was Jackson Hale. He dismounted, studying her quietly. "What's her story?" he asked the auctioneer. She laughed at her master, the man sneered. Mocked him. Deserved to be taught a lesson. Jackson's jaw tightened. Laughed, "Ha," he murmured. Then he did something that shocked everyone, he placed a silver coin in the auctioneer's hand. "I'll take her," he said. The crowd whispered. Buying a woman for laughter was madness. But Jackson didn't care. As he led Clara away, she looked up, frightened and trembling. "Why did you buy me?" she whispered. He looked at her with a soft sadness and said, "Because I haven't heard a real laugh in a long time." Jackson's ranch sat miles away from the town, a lonely stretch of land surrounded by golden fields. It wasn't a place of luxury, but it was quiet, peaceful, and safe. For days, Clara barely spoke. She expected the same cruelty she had known all her life. Yet, every morning, she found food waiting for her, clothes mended, and a porch seat under the open sky where she could rest. One evening, as the sun melted into crimson clouds, Jackson sat on the porch cleaning his revolver. Clara approached him slowly. "Why do you care if I laugh?" she asked, voice small but curious. He looked up, his eyes distant. "My wife used to laugh like that," he said. "Bright, wild, like she could make the whole world forget its pain. She died last winter. Since then, it's been too quiet around here." Clara felt a sting in her chest. She hadn't realized how silence could hurt a person until now. Days turned into weeks. Jackson taught her how to ride a horse, how to plant seeds, how to breathe without fear. The laughter came slowly, first a smile, then a soft chuckle when he tripped over a bucket, then a real laugh when he fell face first into the haystack. It was the first time she had laughed freely since she could remember. Jackson looked at her then, not as property, but as something far rarer. A living soul who had learned to heal. But whispers began to spread in town. Mr. Greaves had heard where Clara was. He wanted her back, not because he cared, but because he hated losing control. One night, Jackson found Clara standing under the moonlight, fear shadowing her face. "He'll come for me," she said. Jackson stepped close, his voice steady. "Then let him come. You're not for sale anymore." And as the night wind carried across the plains, Clara smiled, not from fear or obedience, but from strength. Her laughter echoed softly through the valley, a sound of freedom reborn.